This is a video on how to do visual data survey sheet. This is something that we did when we went down to the stream. You may have not gotten it completed in class, or you were absent that day, so I'm going to show you how to do it. So you're going to have to follow along to make sure that you complete it and have this assignment turned in. To begin, we're going to go ahead and you're in your Environmental Science Canvas classroom. I'm going to scroll all the way down to your Stream Team Learning module. In there, there's two assignments. The first one is the Visual Survey Videos and Questions. That's over the floodplain and riparian cover. If you've not finished that, you may want to go ahead and get that done as well. But this video is about this one, the Visual Survey Data Sheet. Go ahead and click on that. And then it's going to come up with your assignment. It says in order to fill out the fields in the sheet, you will need to use Google Chrome extension Cami. So I'm going to show you how to do that. First, you're going to have to open up the actual sheet. This is going to take you to the Department of Natural Resources website for Missouri. And in there, they created a visual survey data sheet. It is in a PDF. And with this view, we are not able to type on it. As you can see, I can click on it, I can highlight it, but I don't have a cursor to actually type on there. So we have to use an extension to allow us to edit this PDF. In order to get that started, we're going to have to press this download button. It's going to ask you to save it, and your view is going to look a little bit different because you're using a Chromebook, but overall the same idea exists. I'm going to save it, and I'm going to save it as Visual Data Survey Example. That way I know which one it is. Click Save, and it's going to go down at the bottom of my screen. For you, I believe it's going to be on the right-hand side, and for my view, it's going to be on the left-hand side over here. Your next step is that you're going to open a new window and search for Cami, K-A-M-I. Like I said, it's spelled K-A-M-I, Cami. Here is something about the relationship of that word. That is not what we're looking for. We're looking for the second website. It is out of the Google Chrome store, like I said earlier. I want you to click on that, and it'll probably ask you to load app or log app, download app, something to that extent. You're going to go ahead and do that. I've already done that myself. Once you open it and you've downloaded it, it's going to force you to sign in. I would suggest doing the clicking on the red Google Drive sign-in button. That way it utilizes your Google Drive user ID and password so you don't get confused with multiple logins. Once you do that, then you will have a screen that looks like this. There's a variety of ways that you can open up the file, the PDF that we had saved. You can drag and drop it, or for probably more likely your purposes for a Chromebook, I need you to actually click in the box, and then it's going to find whichever one that you had saved. And mine was the Visual Data Sheet Example. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. I've done this a few times, so it's going to ask me to create a new copy. It might not ask you to do that. So here it is, and now we're able to type on it. The first thing that we have to do to be able to type on it is we have to go over here and press the T button. That's for text. And with that text, every time you click on wherever you want to put text, then it'll allow you to. So here, we're going to fill out this form together. We are at our first site, so site number is 1. The stream name that we were collecting data from was called Blue Branch. The county was Jackson County. The site location is 70 yards northwest of Sandy Lane. The date that we went out on this one was September 09. Oh, not letting me do text. So sometimes I have to just come over click the T again. It's not the most user-friendly, but it gets the job done. And eventually they'll make better ones that are free. 2016. We have to log our time in military time. That's the way they requested. So we were out there at 14:03. Our rainfall, they wanted in inches. In the last 7 days since we were out there, it had rained 6.5 inches. The water temp we measured was 23 degrees Celsius. I always like to write the units afterwards, just to clarify that we are measuring in the way that they're requesting us to measure. The trained data submitter is myself, Jamie Donovan, Jayme, last name Donovan. Our stream team number is 1014, and you are considered the participant. In this case, you're just going to go ahead and write your name. Now, we're going to talk about the floodplain. The floodplain is typically from bluff to bluff, and in this case, roughly about 300 feet on each side for us. We need to know what the actual land use of it is. So we have industrial, commercial, residential, pasture, hayfields, row crops, woods, and other. And so when we were out there, we observed that it was about 50%, like one side of the stream was all houses, and the other side of the stream was all woods. Click that text button again. The riparian cover is about 100 feet on either side of the stream. Again, we have to make sure that these all equal 100% in each of these blocks. So for the information on this one, we discussed that there's about 55% trees out there, 25% grasses and weeds, and the leftover remaining amount, 20% bare ground. Stream bank conditions. We have 40% are trees, 30% are grasses and weeds. We did 15% bare ground, and we had 15% riprap. If you don't have anything to put in them, it's okay to leave them blank. For number 4, bed composition of a riffle, we discussed that about 20% is made up of silt and mud, and the remaining 80% is going to be made up of cobble. Then we have percent of embeddedness. That's when we picked up a rock and discovered how far embedded it was into mud. The first one was 0%. The second one was 25%. We picked up another one that was 50% embedded. Another one that was 25% embedded. And then the last one we picked up was 0% embedded. We have to add all of those up, and those all added up to 100. And then we must divide it by 5 to get the average of percent embeddedness, which was 25%. Signs of human use out there was trash, there were golf balls, and there were even tires out there. It rained so much that we actually did not see any visible algae. That doesn't mean that we won't always see it. We just didn't see it that time. Our watercolor was clear. It does look brown and murky when it's on the ground, but when you pull it up into an actual water bottle, the water itself was clear. And there was no odor. Sometimes water can have a musty, or it could be chemically smell, or it could be a fishy smell. I wouldn't say no water, I would say no odor. Spell that right. Our weather conditions that we went out there that day were actually partly cloudy. I have no comments. If I did have comments, those would be like there was a big trash pit there. People were dumping auto parts or oil, something new that wasn't there the last time we went out there. And we usually go out there and do a visual survey about every 6 months. The last thing is that there were fish present. So I'm going to click on that and do a capital X where it says yes, and we're done. The second sheet is just directions on how to do that. All right, so the next step is I have to now get this back over to Canvas to submit it. So first thing is I'm going to download it again. So press that down pointing arrow to download it. I'm going to download it to my Google Drive in a PDF format with annotations. And then I'm going to begin export. If you've never saved it to your Google Drive before, it's going to make you authorize Google Drive. Go ahead and authorize it and then press allow, and then you'll get a screen that looks like that afterwards. When you finally get to this screen, go back to your Canvas account and you're going to click Submit Assignment. In my case, I have File Upload, Website URL, and then you should have another line that says Google Doc. Click on Google Doc, and then you're going to find the file that says Visual Data Survey Export. Click on that, and then you will submit that assignment. That's it.